friends, Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Today we're going the Far East. Yeah, we're doing something a little bit different. Challenge went out, Chris, take a Korean, yeah, you heard me right, Korean recipe and give it that wicked Caribbean spin. Well, you know what? Your boy, I got true Caribbean soul, yeah? I'm up for the task, so here we go. My take on Korean fried chicken. You're gonna love it. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Let's get cooking. As we typically do in the Caribbean, this chicken here was washed with the juice of half a lemon and water, rinsed out, and it's pretty much drained and dry. Now we've got to season this thing up before we can get any further, because we want this to marinate for about half an hour to an hour or so. So I'm going to go in with some salt, fresh ground black pepper, and I've got some fresh ginger here. If you've got ginger powder, you can do that, but I much prefer using freshly grated ginger. And I'm just going to grate that in there. You're going to get that lovely, smelling good already. And the final ingredient to go into our little marinade here, Caribbean green seasoning. Yeah, I told you guys we're doing this Caribbean style, man. So all we're going to do is give that a wicked toss. We want all that green seasoning and ginger and salt and pepper to get on all those pieces of chicken. Put that in the fridge, like I said, for about half an hour to 1 hour, and then we're going to get to actually frying this up. Next up, we've got to make that sort of batter or coating for the chicken. So I have here a nice strong zipper bag, and I'm going to go in with some cornstarch. All-purpose flour. Some nice Caribbean curry powder. Something my mom always uses whenever she's making fried chicken as well, in her sort of coating. In with some fresh ground black pepper. And finally, a bit of salt. All we're going to do is mix that around. And after that chicken is done marinating, we're going to toss the chicken in there. Guys, the key to a good Korean fried chicken is that sauce that it's tossed in after. So while that chicken marinates, let's make that lovely sauce. We can reheat it later. So I'm just going to go in with a bit of vegetable oil. And I have here, my heat is on a medium heat. And I have here some garlic. I'm just going to let that go in the pan for about 2 minutes on that medium heat. Just move that around a little bit in that vegetable oil. For about 2 or 3 minutes until that softens up a little bit. We've got that lovely garlic happening in the kitchen here now. We're going to go in with some tomato ketchup. And don't cheap out. Get some good tomato ketchup to go in here. This dollar store thing, that dollar store thing really won't work now, people. And I have it on a sort of a medium-low heat at this point. Then we're going to go in with some sugar. Soy sauce. Let's give that a quick stir in here. I think I went in with a little too heavy on the soy sauce there, but you can hold back. You basically need about a tablespoon or so of soy sauce. Some corn syrup. This is going to make it nice and sticky and sweet. And the final thing to really kick things up, guys, Caribbean homemade pepper sauce. That's going to give it a lively kick. Bring that up to a simmer and let that go for about 3 minutes or so, because remember later on we're going to heat that up. So I'm just going to let that go. Let all those flavors marry together. Get some lovely flavors coming out of that. Remember I said we're going to heat this up later on after we're done frying the chicken. So I'm going to turn my heat off at this point, and I'm going to go in with just a couple drops of fresh lemon juice. That is totally optional, and for my Korean friends that will seem strange, but I much prefer using that lemon juice instead of any sort of vinegar. Some people may use apple cider vinegar or something in there. Not for me. Set this aside now, and we're going to get to frying the chicken. I've got my wok here heating with on a medium-high heat, vegetable oil in there. And the reason why I like using a wok is because of the high sides. Once I put the chicken in there, all that splatter, the high sides prevent it from dirtying up the stove. I hate cleaning up after. And over here I have that seasoned chicken that we seasoned earlier. We've got that dredging, well, the sort of breading mixture that we're gonna put it in there now. So basically all you want to do is open up that bag, shake off as much of that marinade as you want. A little bit of that ginger and that green seasoning will do you well. You will love that flavor once you bite into it. So all you would do, put it in there, sort of close the bag up, take some of the air out, close it up, and then pretty much shake it up in there. Give it a good toss in there and get ready for frying. So my oil is nice and hot. If you want to do a little test, just get a little bit of flour, toss it in there. Notice that sizzle you got right away. So all I'm going to do is start adding those pieces of chicken in there. And the idea is not to overcrowd the pan, so I'm going to do 4 pieces at a time. What we're doing here, guys, we're going to fry this for about 10 minutes. We're going to remove it, add the other batch in there, fry that for 10 minutes, and then we're going to come back in with both batches for another 10 minutes. So 10 minutes in total, 20 minutes in total, but we're double frying them. So the first batch is out of the oil, only 10 minutes because we're going to double fry these. These are going to go back into the hot oil. And over here, I have the second batch, which is in the hot oil now. It just went in there. So that has to go for 10 minutes. So all the pieces of chicken has been fried now for 10 minutes. Back into the hot oil for another 10 minutes. That's really going to crisp them up, and that skin is going to go nice and crispy, and it's going to be able to take on that lovely sauce that we made earlier. So I'm just taking out the last batch of the double fried chicken. Guys, I'm using chicken drumsticks here, but if you want to use chicken wings, you can certainly do that. If you want to get some chicken breasts and cut them up into small strips and make chicken strips for the kids, you can certainly do that. So the chicken has been double fried, total of 20 minutes. Let's heat up that sauce now and add the chicken pieces to it. With my sauce back up to temperature now, just going to move it around, give it a nice stir. We're going to start adding in all those beautiful pieces of chicken in there. Because what we're going to do next is toss it around in this lovely sauce to coat all these beautiful pieces of chicken. Just going to turn my heat down to low. And all we're doing pretty much is tossing this chicken in that lovely sauce. Smelling good. Not your typical Caribbean fried chicken, but I tell you, my friends from Korea, you've got to give this one a try, man. My Caribbean people, you've got to give this Korean style fried chicken a try. We're going to say, you're going to love it. So what I'm going to do is continue stirring this up because I want all these pieces of chicken to get evenly coated in this beautiful sauce. So there we go, all dressed up and ready for some friends. The final touch, some sesame seeds. I told you guys I'm coming original Korean. We've got a sesame seed thing going on there, guys. You gotta give this thing a try. That chicken looking good for days. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Always a pleasure to have you guys here in the kitchen with me. If you guys notice, I don't know if you're paying close attention, but there's a piece missing there. You know your boy had to try it. Show me some love. Hit thumbs up or like on the bottom there. We just want this thing to go viral, man. We want to show people that when people come to us with a challenge, you know what, we up for it. That's how we Caribbean people, let's drop it. You know what I mean? Korean style fried chicken done Caribbean way. You're gonna love it, guys. Have a great one.